Well, who doesn't want repeat business, right? Well, that's what this session is all about today. So let's talk about the agenda. So we will cover why create a loyalty program, how you can make the process easier for your business, your cashiers, etc. And we'll talk about some loyalty program enhancements that we've done for other customers. And then we're going to talk about how you can set up different programs for different events that you may run in your store. So why create a loyalty program? Well, first and foremost, we want to keep those customers coming back, especially if you have a competitor down the street. You want them to be shopping at your store as opposed to your competitors. So that's really important. Capturing demographic data. So key data can act as a valuable marketing tool. And you can move that data into various products like Customer Connect to do email marketing. And there are a couple of others that we'll talk about here on this presentation. It's also going to give you the ability to understand who's buying what product so that you can use that data to target that customer demographic on various new items that you may have in the store. Capturing key marketing demographics, again, you can utilize that, analyze where your customers are coming from, what your customers, what their birth dates are, all of that information that you can utilize for marketing. Obviously, by collecting customer data, you're building a customer list. And that list can be shared with marketing tools as well. It's going to increase your business value. And then enhancing customer service. So once you get customers in the Counterpoint database, you then have the ability to do things like look up past purchases, reprint receipts based on the customer providing you with their information. You can do personal notes, you can do birthdays, and you can do promotions accordingly. So there's lots of great reasons why you'd want to capture customer information. So we have ways to make the process easier. So whenever we talk about loyalty with a customer, their biggest hesitation is they don't want to slow down the lines. So there are ways to make it easier. On the bottom, you'll see there are the standard customer screen over on the left-hand side. And then what I'm showing on the right-hand side is a modified add on the fly. Now, this is a feature that's built into Counterpoint. You can actually edit this form so that you can put the basic elements of the customer data all on one screen. So for example, if you notice in this on the left-hand side, there is no loyalty program field because that exists under the activity tab. Okay, so if a cashier was using this form, they'd have to hit the other tab to add in the loyalty program. But what we've done here is we have used the Simplify Add on the Fly feature that Counterpoint offers to make it all in one screen. So here we now have the loyalty program on the main screen. We can actually scan the loyalty card, and I actually set up a birth month profile field so I can add the birth month to this customer record as well. Okay, so we just made it a lot simpler, and you can just add the information that you want. So if all you want is the first name, the zip code, phone number, and email address, then you don't need any of this address information. Okay, and then you can also use technology that exists today to scan driver's licenses. And as long as they're mostly a 2D scanner, but some 2D scanners don't come with what's called DL parsing, driver's license parsing. So you'd want to make sure that if you're going to do this and utilize this technology, just talk to your account manager and they'll make sure that you get the one that can be set up to scan a driver's license. So essentially, if you do that, you can use a scanner to scan your material as they're purchasing it, but it'll also scan the back of the driver's license. and you'll set that technology out to fill in the appropriate fields. And you can even, because the birth date is on the driver's license, instead of birth month, you can actually have a date profile field in here to grab the birth date. So that makes it super simple at the registers. So some current enhancements that we've done for loyalty. A lot of the Goodwills are using this. There's a loyalty coupon mod, which basically prints a coupon for the next purchase after the consumer has reached their loyalty threshold. So once they reach that threshold, it'll kick out a coupon, just like if you were going to CVS and you get all those great coupons and so forth. It'll kick out a coupon to be used on your next purchase. And then it basically resets your loyalty points. Okay. And then we have some integrations and several customers out there in the field that are using a product called Klaviyo, which would allow you the ability to take that data that's captured in Counterpoint and pass that information to Klaviyo. And then what Klaviyo does is it's a two-in-one. I know there's much more than that, but the two I'm going to talk about today is it's an email marketing tool and a text-based marketing tool. So it will allow you the ability to take that information out and utilize that tool to send emails and text-based marketing. Of course, Customer Connect is still available. It's an option for Counterpoint that you can add, and that would allow you to do email-based marketing with the data that you capture in Counterpoint as well. You can also set Customer Connect up to do a promo to let customers know exactly how many points they have remaining to get to their threshold. That would also encourage them to come back in. We also have e-commerce loyalty integration through Modern Retail. So if you have an e-commerce store and it's not tied to your Counterpoint system, we do have an option called from Modern Retail that will connect the two together. And then it also allows you to share points between your e-commerce site and also your in-store transactions. And then we've done several custom integrations to a lot of different e-commerce products on the, CRM solutions on the market. So if you have a CRM solution that you're using today that you want to integrate with the Counterpoint loyalty program, just let us know or let your account manager know, and they can talk to you about different options there to create that integration. And of course, I'm sure you know, and I wanted to add it as a bullet here, but we also have an API for Counterpoint that also will allow you to move data back and forth with that API tool. So if you're not using Customer Connect and you're not using Klaviyo, but you want to utilize maybe another marketing tool, there are ways to get there as well. All right, so how to set up a different loyalty program using NCR Counterpoint. So for this one, I am going to pass that over to Karen. Well, actually, before we do that, so Karen is actually going to go through different examples that she's put together. So double points on Wednesday, the ability to play 12 rounds of golf and get one free, and then a brand rebate, which is essentially spending a set amount, in this case, $1,000, and then you get $50 to spend. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Karen, and she'll go through the next couple of slides and then jump into the software. Go ahead, Karen.
Okay. You can go to the next slide. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Darlene. So I'm going to show you how to set up 3 different loyalty programs. And other than setting up the actual loyalty programs themselves, you have to do a couple of other configurations to Counterpoint in the background. So in your station configuration, this says store, but it's the station configuration, there's a checkbox down here at the bottom right that says show point redemption message. And so that would need to be checked. And so when you're actually checking out a customer, if they're eligible to use their points based on the rules, it will show you at the payment screen that they have points that they're eligible to use. So for that to happen, then we need to have that checked for each station. Also on your payment, in your pay codes and then on your payment screen, you need to have set up a pay code and a payment button for using loyalty points. And so that's in system to set up the pay code and then touch screen to add that to your tender page. And then also, once we get our loyalty program set up, then you actually need to assign the loyalty program to each customer that's eligible. So we can have multiple loyalty programs set up, and then we assign whichever program the customer is eligible for, wants to be eligible for in their customer record. That way, when we start a sales transaction with that customer number, it looks to the customer record to see what loyalty program they're enrolled in and then what kind of points they should be getting. How we would set up a loyalty program where on 6 days of the week people get standard number of loyalty points, and then on Wednesdays they get double points. So our loyalty program screen is under set up customer loyalty programs. And like I said, you can set up as many as you want.
I think that screen is a little high. If you could bring it down, maybe.
Good.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can set up as many programs as you want, like I said, and then you assign the program to the customer. They all have sort of these same basic setup pieces in common. So we set up the name of the program, we set up how people earn points, and then we set up how people can redeem their points. And then we also have a section here, if they're redeeming points as part of their payment, can they earn for those kind of sales and how, or for the remaining dollars. So we'll look through each of these sections. So when we determine how people are earning their points, you can first of all set a maximum number of points that a customer could earn on any ticket or unlimited. We set how people are, what the increment point, the point increment that they're earning for each of our methods of earning. And then if we are earning, if we're giving points in partial increments, if we want to round them to another increment, nearest increase or decrease to another increment. Usually people just put the earning increment in $1 and then we do our redemption based on that. So we've got our earning increment of 1. And then we go in here and we say, how are we going to set the rules for how we're earning points? Also, you have the ability here to use these 2 check boxes. So whether or not you want to give points if items are on sale, and those would be if they were set up through promotional pricing. And also then if you were going to allow points if a cashier did a price override and changed the price. So here we'll go into the actual earning rules. And are you seeing that screen, the earning rule?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so here's for our days of the week that are not Wednesday. So the rule here is we're earning 1 point per dollar spent. And so you can issue your points based on dollars spent or per unit that the customer purchases. And then you can filter it down here in the bottom too, so that they're only earning points, for example, on a certain category or a certain vendor or just on a certain item. And then you can have as many rules as you want here within this loyalty program. So for example, one category, the customer might earn 1 point per dollar spent. For a category, they might earn different number of points for the different days of the week. Like I'm going to show you here, sorry, I got sidetracked. So anyway, here we're saying our 6 days of the week. I've said day of the week is not exactly Wednesday. And we're earning 1 point per dollar spent on anything because I don't have this filtered down. Then I'll come to my next rule. And here we say, here we're going to issue 2 points per dollar on day of the week of Wednesday. So the system will automatically make that change for you in the background. So anyone that has this Loyal One program associated with a customer record will get 1 point per dollar 6 days of the week and 2 points per dollar on Wednesday. So that's how they'll earn. So then when we go to redeem, we're saying basically how much money is each of those points that they earned worth when they go to redeem. And so here we have each one is worth 10 cents. So value per point is 10 cents. And what are the minimum points they have to use per ticket? And so they're doing 100. And so when we do the minimum of 100 points, that equates to a $10 loyalty point redemption when they get to that. Then you can also set what are the maximum points a customer can use per transaction. In this case, we're saying they can use an unlimited number of points per ticket. So when you get to the point of payment, the cashier will be told that the customer has loyalty points they can use, and then the cashier has the option as to whether or not they want to apply those to the ticket or not. The customer might want to save up a whole lot of points, and so they can use it for a big purchase. So if you want that to happen, you can check unlimited. If you want to narrow it down and just say, well, we don't really want them to use it if it's more than $20, well, then we could say, in that case, we could say our maximum point per ticket would be 200. And then here, can we use partial payments? So can they use partial points as well? So then over here on the right, we can define what they can use their points for. Can they use them just for merchandise? Can they use them to purchase a gift card? Can it be used to cover sales tax or miscellaneous charges if you have those defined, such as shipping? Again, most places just say they just want to allow them to be used for merchandise purchases, and then you collect cash for, tax and miscellaneous charges. So then we go in here to our redemption. What can they use these points for? Well, again, I don't have this filtered down to anything. So basically we're saying no matter what the customer purchases, they're going to be able to use their points for anything on any day of the week. We don't have that narrowed down. So for their earning, they can get the double points on Wednesday, but as far as the redemption goes, they can redeem anytime all of their points. So that is the double points on a day of the week. I have another one that I set up here, which is called, I'm in a golf database here. So 12 rounds of golf, they get one free. So here we have our earning increment of 1. So every time they play a round of golf, they earn 1 point. Again, rounded to the nearest. In this case, it doesn't really matter because it's not a partial unit. I'm not allowing it on sale items or price overrides. And then I go into the rules. And so I've said for each round of golf, which is just a particular item number. So each time they purchase the item number called 18 holes, they're going to earn 1 point per stocking unit. So in this case, it's per unit, not in per dollar. So every time they buy a round of golf, they're going to get 1 point. Then I go here to my redemption. And that round of golf costs $36. And since loyalty points are redeemed as cash, I kind of had to make a conversion there. So here I'm saying my value per point is $3. They have to use a minimum of 12 points, and they can only use a maximum of 12 points. So that's going to limit it to forcing them every time they have used 12 rounds of golf, it's going to allow them to use that conversion of the 12 points times $3 per point, $36 to pay for basically it makes them a free round of golf. So when I go here into my redemption rules, again, I've said here that the redemption is for the 18 holes item only. So again, we don't have that defined any further. They can only redeem it on that 18 holes of golf. So just to show you how that works in touchscreen. Let's see here. Okay, hopefully you can see my touchscreen. So here's the customer that's had their 12 rounds of golf. And so I went in and I rang up one more round of golf. And so it sees right here, it says loyalty points are available for redemption. If I put a different item on this touchscreen first, on the ticket, it's not going to give me that message. It's only going to give me that message and allow me to redeem for this round of golf that's free. So when I go to pay, and I say I'm going to pay with loyalty points, here it's going to pop up and it's going to tell how many points balance the customer has, how many are eligible, and then the min and max that we've established for this. So this is telling me my 12 points worth $36 is going to be applied to the sale. And then all they're going to do is they're going to owe that $3.28 for the tax, because I checked that it's not eligible to be used for tax. And again, if I were to put another item on this ticket, let's just say I'm going to buy a piece of clothing along with it. Oops. Then when I go to my loyalty points, again, it's only going to say I can use those 12 points, and it's only going to apply it to that round of golf. So then my third example is you could do this for like store brands of merchandise or different things. I just set one up here so that, let's see, where did it go? So I set this up so that if a customer were to buy $1,000 worth of one vendor's worth of products, they will get a 5% rebate, or $50 in this case. So here again, I've got my earning increment at 1, and my earning rules are set so that anytime they purchase anything from the vendor Adams, they're getting 1 point per dollar. My redemption then is set so that each point is worth 5 cents, and the minimum and the maximum points they can use here again are 1,000. So that conversion is the $50 rebate that they're going to end up getting. And they can only use that $50 rebate on the same vendor's products. So when I go in here to the redemption rules, I've narrowed it down to just that vendor. So if on the ticket you had items from other vendors, it would not allow you to use that. It will only prompt to use it if you have the items from the Adams vendor on your ticket. Then we're down here to the earning while redeeming section. So if the customer is redeeming points during their sale, what do we want to do about that? Do we want to give them more points or not? So you can just say, if they're using any points to pay for any part of a transaction, we're never going to issue any more points. Or do we want to reduce what their earnings would be on the transaction by the number of points that they've redeemed? And if that's the case, what multiplier do we want to use on that, the number that they've redeemed in a sale? So I've just said it's just 1 point redeemed, 1 point applied to each point redeemed, or yeah, redeemed. And then they don't earn anything if the transaction is fully paid in points. So just depending on how you want to deal with transactions that have partially or fully paid back points. And so those are the 3 loyalty programs that I wanted to show you. There's many, many more you could do, but those are 3 fairly common examples.
And then once a customer is in your system and they come into your store and they want to see like their previous purchases or the points they have, how do you look them up by name, by phone number, by birth date? Can it be like any combination of those?
Yeah, so in the customer record, you can define any fields as keyword fields, which basically allows you to look up on those fields.
Okay.
So the standard ones in Counterpoint right now are customer number or any part of their name, phone number, email address, pretty much whatever you want to use. And then once you get into the customer record, and there are different places in Counterpoint, you can look up the customer and see different things, but you will be able to look up their purchase history. You'd also be able to look at their number of their points balance. And also on the touch screen, for example, you can do a customer zoom, and on the customer zoom, you can add their points right on the zoom so you can see what they have. So if a customer ever asks, how many points do I have? That's an easy thing to find at the register.
Great. We do have a question from Christy. For the 2D scanner, will that only scan cards for loyalty purposes, or would it replace the standard hand scanner?
I'll jump in here. Hi, Christy. So yeah, the scanner is going to be to scan your merchandise, your barcodes, as well. It will scan cards. It'll scan loyalty cards, and if it's a driver's license scanner, it'll scan driver's licenses. And if you offer promotions on a cell phone, it will actually scan promotions on a cell phone if you have a barcode.
I just wanted to make one quick comment. You know, if you need help setting up a loyalty program, you can always put in a support ticket, and you know, we can generally help you through that. Also, there's really good documentation on the loyalty. If you go to ncrcounterpointhelp.com, there's a lot of good documentation there on how to set up the loyalty programs, and you know, all the background information like adding it to that checkbox to the station and all those different settings that you need as well. So
that also
really simple to do yourself.
That also goes for setting up customer add on the fly. That can be a little tricky, and I think we do have some documentation there. So you know, if you have an interest in that, you can reach out to myself or Ryan or someone, and we can get that forwarded off to you.
Thanks everyone for joining us.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.